Welcome everyone. You are watching Empowering Women Summit 2020, which is IEEE Turkey Women in Engineering Sections Summit. My name is Kardan Büyüktanır Aktar and I'm the Vice Chair of IEEE Turkey Women in Engineering. Today we are with Supavadee Aramvith. Sorry for not pronunciation. Today, thank you for being here. She is a magnificent woman. I want to read her brief biography first. She is the member of IEEE Educational Activities Board, Communications Chair, IEEE Humanitarian Activities Committee, IEEE Consumer Electronics Society Board of Governors. They are members of them. And also, she is the head of Multimedia Analytics and Processing Research Unit, Department of Electrical Electronics, Chulalongkorn University, Thailand. Her biography is she received her bachelor's first-class honors degree in computer science from Mahidol University in 1993. She received her master's and PhD degrees in electrical engineering from the University of Washington, Seattle, USA in 1996 and 2001, respectively. She joined Chulalongkorn University in June 2001. Currently, she is an associate professor at Department of Electrical Engineering with specialization video technology. She has successfully advised 9 PhD, 27 masters, and 32 bachelor's graduates. She published over 130 papers in international conference proceedings and journals with 4 international book chapters. She has rich project management experiences as the project leader and former technical committee chairs to the Thailand government bodies in telecommunications and ICT. She is very active in the international arena with the leadership positions in the international networks such as JICA project for AUN SeedNet and the professional organizations such as IEEE, IEICE, APCIPA, and ITU. She is currently a member of IEEE Educational Member of Board of Governors of IEEE Consumer Electronics Society, 2019 to 2021. Communications Chair, IEEE Humanitarian Activities Committee, IEEE New Initiative Committee member. She also chairs Region 10 Sections and Chapters Committee and was the candidate for 2021-2022 Region 10 Director-elect. She formerly led educational activities and women in engineering for IEEE Asia Pacific Region 10 from 2011 and 2016. Today, we are going to, she is going to talk about women achievers, how to be the one. I'm giving the word to you right now.
Okay, thank you very much, Kaden, for your kind introduction, and it's always my pleasure to be a part of the IEEE Turkey We event. I think I have gave a talk several times, in the past months that we are quite occupied with the COVID pandemic. But I believe that at the brighter side, we have a chance to share each other like many of the view and then also the knowledge. Yeah. So today I'm glad to give a talk on the topic of the. It's already shared. Yeah. Okay. So I think you see my screen. All right. Right. Yeah, it's about the women achievers and how to be one. Yeah, and as has been introduced by Cadence, my name is Supavadee Aramvith, and you will know more about me later on. Yeah. So what about the topic today? Yeah. So actually the definition of the achiever, right, is the people who especially talented in the achiever theme. Right, so it means stamina and work hard is like their main trait. And then they also have the great satisfaction of being busy and productive. I think being busy and productive, we can view as also the positive and negative note as well, because our life, we should not be that busy. Yeah, and this definition is from the Gallup Clifford Strength. So it means you can also go in, okay, and try to do some questionnaire, and then they will identify what are like your top strengths, and achiever is come out as my second top strength. So today, first part, I'm gonna talk about like the 7 key traits of the high achiever, like what are them, and then later on, I will take it into like my experience in life, like how that make me an achiever. Yeah. So actually, an achiever, right? If you are a high achiever, right, unsurprisingly, you will be driven by the strong motive to achieve, right? They have a strong design to accomplish something meaningful, right? So while less accomplished individual may be more often motivated to avoid the failures, right? But mainly, so it means that they may achieve less, right? So we have to differentiate like the high achiever by the motivation, by the stamina, right? Not that we are fear of the failure, because actually the failure always make us the great person if we can come back up, right? So first quality of the high achiever is like the attitude of the action oriented. It's about the ready, fire, and aims. Okay, so high achiever are action oriented. Okay, so I say that is ready, fire, and aim. Okay, so, but traditional method would be ready, aim, and fire, right? So it's mean like the person should translate the positive intention into the tangible result, right? So it's mean the attitude and action is very important. Okay, so it's we always think stand still, take action, move, test and apply idea, right? And then figure out what's work, right? Replicated it. And if something that does not work, right, we can change the approach until it deliver the positive outcome, right? So actually, I'm sure that we have met the people who talk a good game, right? They talk, but nothing ever happens, right? But a high achiever would walk the talk, right? What they say would happen, okay? But of course, it does not always mean that first time we can get it right, right? But once we are in the stage or when we are in the arena, right? So we take action, right? And then that's mean that we are serious about it, and then we can make something good happens, right? So that about the first traits, right? The second is about visionary, right? We know that too many people set off on the journey into the future without first painting a clear pictures, right? Or what they want to be, how they want to get, right? So it means that they can end up right from here is now and then the future. So the path may not be that straight. It may have to go detour. It has some delay, right? So this will happen if you do not paint something in advance, right? But if we are clear of our vision, right? So it means like we define the pathway, and then we set off the way like that, right? So now and in the future, we see it's quite clear. Even if we go off course, like we can always come back, right? It is like always we have the backup plan. We can come back, and then we can also go into the forward place again, right? So that is about the visionary. Okay, so it's all about not just the mindset, right? But it's mean like we have to wire ourselves with the level of the certainty and then the belief, right? That the thinking that okay, if I was going to win, then it was just a question of a when and where, right? So the sociology that is very important, right? And then you put it right to the core, right? What's going to happen? You ain't going to win, right? So that is very important. Not just the mindset, right? But we have to have the certainty and the belief as well. So the third is about a laser beam focus, right? So where focus go, the energy flow. So I think like it's like when you push like this laser beam, right? So there is a wise Russian proverb that's called, if you chase two rabbits, you end up catching neither, right? So it means like you cannot put too many parts, right? You cannot choose like 5 parts and then you will go on that 5 part. It is very difficult, right? So at one point of time, we will know that what is our strength, and then what is the focus that we will go to. I think I also used to be in the stage that I have so many opportunities that come into my life, and then I decide also to take all opportunity. But that happened when I was young, right? But at this stage is when I already know my strength, and then I just take just the few part, right? That I also have a passion. I happy to do it, right? And then I believe that I can make something good happen, right? So I mean that is a very important about the laser beam focus, right? So that is the third one, right? So the fourth one is about the discipline, right? I think the discipline is very important, right? It's about the consistency of action, and also consistency over time, right? So it means like we do something even you don't feel like it, right? So the high achiever understand this, right, and will discipline as a commitment, the dedication, and then the excellence rather than the inconvenient burden to endorse, right? So if we would like to sustain our success, right? So discipline is important, is reach the goal and then the accomplishment. Okay. So there is a difference that make for the high achiever, right? So it's when they are in the driver's seat, living life and then deliberate, consistent of intention. So it is like not we do it like an autopilot, right? So discipline is the pursuit of the goal, right? So how do we cultivate the discipline, right? Of course, habit is very important. So we may not have like the strong habit to do something, and if we want to change habit, many times it is very difficult. I think you may have a chance to read the book A Habit, right? So is the strategy is that you have to try to start building small. Okay, if you want to change something, you just make that small part, just change the small part, right? But what very important is about the consistency. So you have to gather the momentum, right? And then you reinvest it in progressively, then the more significant change will come to your routine. Okay, so I mean that is something that is very important. Okay, so change, the small part, make it consistent, and then later on you are able, okay, to make a big change. Okay. The fifth quality is about winning mentality, right? So winning mentality is start with the positive attitude, okay, and then the good news is that it entirely achievable through determination, right? It's about can do, okay, will do mentality rather than cannot do or won't do. Okay, so I mean this is very important. Okay, so if you see yourself in a given situation, like we said like two part. One is like a victor, another is like a victim. Okay, so most often, if not a circumstance, the attitude and the mindset is separate victor from the victims. Okay, so victor look into the future with the sense of purpose. Okay, and victims see the future as something that is done to them. Right, so victors see challenges as the opportunity to grow, but victims see them, okay, as like something that make them fail. Okay, so I mean it is very important, and then we can see like in this figure. Okay, uh, so this is about the 2% mindset, and like they said that 98% of the population would like always to stay in their comfort zone. Okay, so comfort zone is mean you are very comfortable to yourself and you don't want to make a change, even you know that you would like if you would like to make significant change, then your life will change in a good way, right? So that is something like a play it safe. Sometimes we also procrastinate as well, like if we change ourselves, right? So we may not be able, to be able to do it, right? So if 98% of the population think like that, why don't you want to be the 2% of the population that you can embracing the unknown? Okay, you feel exciting of the world outside your comfort zone, and then you can go there with your confidence, right? So there are many times that I have to step out of my comfort zone, right? And that's the time that I need to have the braveness, right, to go outside it and make certain change, do something that I don't usually do before. So sometimes I need to make such a very high effort to do that. Okay. So it's about your mind, the strength of the mind that can make it happen. Okay. So I believe that, that is a very important thing. But a winning mentality is something that you can build, start from your mindset and your belief that, you can do it. The sixth trait, okay, of the high achiever is like a attitude of being a lifelong learner. Okay, so we will see as today that there are so many knowledge out there, right? Especially like in terms of the technology, right? And now we have to adapt ourselves, like when we going through life, right? The kids that growing now, I have more opportunity, have to be adaptable more than before, right? So it's been like we cannot stop learning, right? Because if we stop learning one thing, we may stop earning, because like now the skill that require you to survive, right, it's not just like only like your technical skill. Now you may need digital skill in the fourth industrial revolution, right? And then one thing that's very important is a cross-functional skill, like ability for you to present well, to be able to communicate with each other, and then also to have in the teamwork that you can work with each other well, and you can have a great problem skill as well, right? So lifelong learner is very important in this increasing competitive world, right? So actually high achiever has a capability and thirst of the learning, right? So it's been like you can see that they will show up every day being the best version of themselves. I think this is very important. Each day that we start our day, right, so we have to start fresh and think that, okay, today what is a new learning, okay, that we will go through, right? We have to embrace that, right? So we have to spend our life as we are also our performance coach, right? We taking step to improve the performance, ensuring that we reach the true and maximum potential, right? So we have to feed our mind, growing personally and professionally, right? So it is very important. And as you know, like IEEE new strategic goal, like we have the IEEE will be the source of the lifelong learning, right? So this is very important, right? So the final one, like, is the boomerang. So what do you think when I put this photo up, right? So the high achiever would have the restless pursuit, right, for adding value in whatever endeavor that we are committed to, right? So we focus on helping each others, right, and then also make a positive difference first, right? So it means we throw out the boomerang, right, far and wide, right? Knowing that the good impact will come back, right? So we know about the success, right? Whatever maybe it will follow. Okay, so that are the seven traits of the high achiever, and I think it's like it is very important, right? So now you can think for yourself, like how many of these high achiever traits are part of your DNA, right? So you can think, okay, I have three, or may I have all, right? I don't think that anyone said that, oh, I don't have any of the trait, right? I think each of the person would have that, but sometimes it's also hidden inside. So it means we have to have the courage, okay, to take it out. So I always love this quote. Okay, define the success on your own term, achieve it by your own rules, and build a life that you're proud to live. Right. So this is from the Anne Sweeney, the former Disney Channel president. right? So I think that we always have the very good example. We have the many role model, very successful people that we could learn from, right? But one thing is that we cannot make a life like that person or this person, because we are grow from the different background, from the different environment, so we are quite unique, right? So it's been like it is your ability, right, to have a belief in yourself, and then know how you are, right? So you can build your life by your and set your own rule of success. Your success can be different from others. Okay, and so we have to be proud of your success, whether it's the big or small, right? Because it is, we cannot compare ourselves. We can compare for a better, but we will not compare to discourage ourselves, right? So I believe that I love this quote a lot, right? So talking about myself, right? I already was introduced about my education, right? I would like to point out a bit what I have gone through, right? Because of course I am now at this point, I'm graduated PhD degree, right? But I mean through that part it is not that easy, right? So of course I start my undergraduate in computer science, and I choose computer science because like the subject at that time is very new. It's the time that we start having computers that can affordable. And then also like I think at the time we does not have World Wide Web yet. It about the year that we about to have the first web browser. Okay, so something like unknown but like exciting, right? And then when I study, I know that okay, I love programming, I love algorithm, I love to build something new. So I mean that is quite good, right? So it's when you have to love what you will explore, right? So I graduate 4 years with the first class honor, and this happens because I set the goal before that I want to achieve at that point. And then why it is important? Because if you graduate with very high grade, right, you open up more opportunity to yourself, right? So I go to work, and then I also received the Royal Thai Government Scholarship, right? So that also enable my graduate study in the United States at the one of the best university in the world, University of Washington. But I have to change the field as well from the computer science to electrical engineering, which is more difficult, right? So more difficult. So I have that's also the challenges that how I will survive my master and PhD and graduate. Okay, but finally, of course, I can do it. And then I returned to Chulalongkorn University, which is one of the best university in Thailand. And since there, I work for almost 20 years now, right? So one point that I think 3 point that happens during my study time. Yeah, of course, I aim for first class honor for a reason, right? And then what happened after that is the very wide opportunity for the scholarship or choose a career path, right? And also like the decision to pursue PhD is also, I mean, important, right? Because I received a government scholarship. It's been it will tie me right for 6 years. And after that, I have to return to the university and be there for at least 12 years, with 2 times of the scholarship period, right? But of course, I decide to choose it, and I think that I'm fortunate to get that opportunity, and then I'm so fortunate, I mean, to work at the university professor. And the third one is about the tremendous challenge in the master and PhD study. One thing is like the shift from computer science to electrical engineering. The second one is like the challenges as English is not my mother tongue. So it is quite difficult when I have to go to stay abroad for like more than 6 years, right? And have to be self-motivated, okay, work harder, right? And also like for the presentation skill, I cannot do as well as I am now. So it's when I have to take any personal development course, as many as I can. Also have to build up the confidence to do the public speaking and then so on. Because the confidence in making a presentation is very important, right? So if you can be confident when you make presentation, so it's been like the audience won't believe in what you have to say, right? So I mean, I also attend the Dale Carnegie course, which is one of the personal development course in US, right? And I also achieved the highest achievement award that's among the award that I received early in my life, right? So I also like John Maxwell. I read many of his books. He's a very experienced coach from US, right? So the difference between average people and achieving people is their perception and response failure, right? So I think what I have passed through life, many times I fail, but I think that as a positive, right? So it means that it's an opportunity to grow if we fail. So if you fail many times, you should be glad that like now there's a room for you to grow if you choose for your mindset that you want to grow, right? So I finally, after passing through many like obstacle, I graduate in the year of 2001. University of Washington now is ranked 14 in the world, right? And that is me when I received my degree, okay, on the date, some date in June, right? And I come back at Chulalongkorn University. Chulalongkorn University is the oldest and most prestigious university in Thailand. It's the first established university, right? So you can see the size of the university, the student, and then the staff, right? And then the great thing is that we enter the 96th rank of the world top university is academic reputation. Okay, so I'm very proud to be at this university. And as a university professor, as we know, we have all responsibility. And one thing when you are university professor, of course you have some mandatory tasks, but you also have freedom to choose what you want to do, what you want to pursue. Like so, mainly you teach, you do research and publication, you do the administration, being an academic advisor, and then you also have a chance also to do academic service, like a project with the government, with the outside company, and also as a professional volunteer. This is not mandatory as a university professor, but I put it in because like I really passionate about being the volunteer. So I would like to say that throughout my career, okay, the age of 30 to 40 is the thing that I established myself. And as I used to say, I try so many opportunities that come in. And there are so many opportunities at that time. Because if we are quite diligent, we work hard, and we can show that we have some output and outcome, then our opportunity will come to you, right? So it is good at that time because it's still young. And then you have restless energy to try all, right? But during 40 to 50 is the time that you should identify and focus on the strength and the work that along the passion. I believe passion is very important because a passion make you happy, right? To do, enjoy what you are doing, right? You it's not feel like you are forced to do something. And it's very important. It's different between you forced to do something and then you have a passion, have a passionate feeling to do something, right? So now it's time to identify the strength and focus just the few, okay, that you do best. And after that, I believe that after 50 or 60, of course, I'm not reaching 50 yet, right? So 50 to 60 is now, if you set your priorities straight, during your 40 to 50, then it's now to establish and fulfillment and success on your own term. I believe that would happen, right, in that period. So I would like to highlight some of my achievement. Okay, so for the academic advising, in which I quite enjoy a lot because I love the opportunity to mentor my student, to give them advice because like one thing that you are happy to be a university professor because you could have ability to build a person, right, to groom a person to be success as if you are, right? And I'm glad that I have a chance to both advise international student and also Thai student. And then I have advised like 11 PhD, 27 master, and 36 bachelor graduates, right? And currently I'm also advised 2 postdoc, 4 PhD, 5 master, and 5 bachelor student. And this is some of my students, and you can see that some are not Thai. He's from Pakistan, and this is like a PhD guy of the Chulalongkorn University. And the research and publication is very important. So if you're a university professor, right, you should be able to identify what would be your strength. Of course, you're going to have your strength, well, what you do in your PhD thesis, right? So you can, when you start being a university professor, you just use that strength like as your area, right? So my main area is about video technology, and then my PhD thesis is about video compression, right? So that is my main area. But later on, when I work on, I find that video analytic, right, and also work on CCTV camera has so many promising application. So now it is my second and quite strength area as well, due to it has so many application. So I have worked on like some face recognition application, some anomaly detection, and then some super resolution technology. So of course, the aim, okay, is that of course you're gonna have some good publication in a reputable journal, and then also another is like a patent, or you could build something that can be commercialized or can be very useful, okay, for the society. So that is the thing that I plan to do, and I have a chance from university to establish the multimedia data analytic and processing research unit starting like the last August. Okay, and then I'm glad that now we are building up the expertise to do something good, right, for the university, and also, I mean, for the outside community. And other than that, teaching, administration, and academic service is important, because you cannot just only do research and advise students, right? I mean, you would also need some other skill as well, because I mean, to survive in the world, you cannot be only within the university. It is good for you to build the skill to connect to other, whether domestic, whether to the international. So I have a chance like to help my department on the international affair. I have done it for the past 10 years, and then I stopped 4 years, and this year I start again, right, to do the internationalization, make a digital present for the university, right? And another thing that I'm glad to have be taken a part of is like the one of the biggest multilateral network, okay, in the engineering education in Southeast Asia, that built by Japan, okay, JICA. Okay, it's called AUN, Asian University Network, Southeast Engineering Education Network. So I involved, this is like a long-term project. Okay, it's like 4 phase of 20 years. It started in 2003. And I have a chance to be the assistant executive director during 2007 to 2009. And after that, I'm also coordinate for the field of electrical and electronic engineer. So with this program, it has so many of the university in the network, as you can see, and linked with Japan. And we have produced so many qualified graduates, okay, that they also return to work in that country. And other than that, helping the government also very important. I have a chance to help the Office of the National Broadcasting and Telecommunication Commission, which is a Thailand telecommunication and broadcasting regulator. And then also in terms of the consultant to the Ministry of Digital Economy and Society, and also Thai Industrial Standard Institute. So this is something that I mean important, and build your connection, and also like for the service, I mean to the community as well. Other than that, I also taken part as an expert for the International Telecommunication Union, okay, which is like a specialized ICT agency from the United Nations. So in 2016 and 17, we have worked on the project. It's like for the expert around the world to come to work for the book called ICT-centric economic growth, innovation, and job creation. And I'm glad to be only the women authors, okay, for this book. And this book is like to promote ICT for sustainable development goal. Right, so you can download this book for free, okay, from the ITU website, if you can see in here. Okay, so it's like 400-page book, but it is very insightful, okay, especially for all the stakeholder, okay, that want to push ICT, okay, for sustainable development. And I also have a chance to be select as the high level track facilitator for the current year, the BUSIS. So the BUSIS is the World Summit in the Information Society is the biggest world forum, okay, hosted by ITU. Okay, and this year I also happy that I'm only one of the 4 women as a high level track facilitator, and then also the only one from the Asia Pacific region. Okay, so that gives the opportunity to take the view, the insight, and then have a chance to interact with the high level stakeholder from the world. So now I come to the IEEE. Okay, so professional volunteer is the one of the thing that I put one of the priority, right? Because I believe that we could connect further and also in our specialized field, right? And IEEE is the as you know the largest professional organization in the world, right? And it has so many of the society, it has so many of the organizational units, and we have the 10 region, right? So I have worked for region 10, and I also work for the society and many others like humanitarian activity, educational activities. I'm proud to be like a member for IEEE for 25 years. So next year it's gonna be 26, right? So the work as experience as a member, but an experience as a volunteer is different. I start doing my volunteering in 2007 as the Thailand section secretary. And then in 4 years later, I was appointed in the region 10, oversee the educational activities. And I was doing that for 5 years. In between, I was also taking care of women in engineering. And after that, I was also appointed into the educational activity board, oversee pre-university education. Now I'm oversee section education, outreach education. Right. And other thing, of course, I was a candidate running, also not success, but it was a good experience. Right. And 2021, I'm still have so many responsibility with IEEE. And here we could see like so many things that has evolved since my start day of joining the volunteering journey and meeting with many excellent volunteers, and very good connection, and we can do a lot of good things that contribute like all of those review of the project that IEEE fund, right? The project for social for good, okay, and then for the sustainable development. Okay, so IEEE has done so many contribution. I believe that not just to particular country but also to the world. And that was I proud to be the IEEE volunteer, and I think you are as well, right? Award and recognition. Of course, when I do something, I do with passion. So of course, I didn't set goal that I was doing this to get an award, but I believe that award would come later, and then is a very good recognition. Because for the award and recognition is something that enable us, right? It's like a power to push us to do something. Continuing, right? So I have a good opportunity. To receive an award, both from my university and also from my bachelor degree university as a excellent alumni. Right, and then also the honorary award that I just received from my university. But one thing that when I'm volunteering, okay, so I have one thing that I feel very proud is like my work for educational activities throughout the Asia Pacific has been recognized, and I received the MGA Leadership Award in 2019. And other than that, is like several of the recognition, and I'm glad also to be at the Kapanu HKN member. So now I'm come toward the final part of my talk, right? So I would like to point out like being a female. You should feel proud to being a female, okay? And then one thing, if you didn't think that there is a backup from neuroscience that can shift your thinking, okay? So it's about like how our female brain are built, right? So you can see it like this. If you are not in medical field, you may feel, oh, this is like a very difficult to pronounce, but that is like a different part of the brain, right? That make us come out as good as we are. And I mean, there are many the study that back up that many part of our brain, right? It enable us to have a better, I mean, good quality. I didn't say that we have a better quality than men, right? We should not think like that, right? But we should embrace the something that I mean we have, right? Something like, for example, female tend to utilize both sides of the brain, right, than men, right? And then in terms of anterior cortex, right, that intuition, I mean, the female has a larger anterior cortex than men. Okay, that suggests, I mean, something that we use intuition, right, to integrate memory and integration into the complex pattern of thoughts. Insular cortex, we have the twice the size of women than men, right? So it's mean, but that is more on the emotional response, control physical reaction, right? Hippocampus, we are also large and more active in women's, right? So it's been in terms of articulate emotion, female is better, okay? But like something like amygdala is larger in men than women, right? And some cerebellum also in terms of the combined with amygdala, men would be have a greater potential than women, okay? The prefrontal cortex is also important because it controls the judgment, right? So if we see something like the study in neuroscience, maybe you may feel proud, you may feel embraced that, okay, some perspective and thought process that I mean we should be honored and amplify in our workplace, right? So what feature to determine like a female leadership, right? So like something like people oriented, right? Tendency to cooperate, or the capacity to operate in the different direction. Okay, horizontal leadership is also important. So horizontal leadership is something like we don't have a hierarchical style of the leadership, right? So it's mean like the now I think the many organizations try to flatten organization. So it's mean like we have the one level where the top management are also like very close to the employee, right? So it means something that the communication it could embrace the closer communication, right? And that is very good. If we can communicate very well, it will, I mean, fulfill many of the objective tasks and reduce the argument, right? And next is the emotional prevalence, and then more prone to change. I think that's how important that I mean the female leadership could have. And then I talked about the strength finder before, and I believe that I mean if you can identify your strength, it is good because some strength come with the positive and negative aspect, right? So while we could embrace the positive aspect of it, we have to be aware of the negative aspect, right? And then we could do some improvement to compensate that, right? Because we cannot be, I mean, too strong. We always have to be, I mean, flexible at the same time, right? So I mean, this like the example of my 5 leadership strength that I mean I got from Clip Fund strength. And you can see that some is good, but some come with like maybe negative aspect, right? So finally, right? So after you listen to my talk, I hope that I could give you some insight, right? Of I mean how the aspect of a high achiever contribute to success, and how to be a female, like some other leadership style, and then so on, the quality that enable us to excel, right? So this is some of the stuff that I would like to leave to you, right? Education is always important, and as I said, we always have to continue to learn. Okay, we learn every day. You have to have the mindset to learn new thing every day and embrace that. We should gain more experience. We should expand our skill. Okay, financial skill is also always important, right? Because we have to earn, we have to afford our life and our lifestyle, right? So have financial education is important. And also volunteering for non-profit organization will always have the positive plus, I mean, to your life, right? And it is unexplainable, right? The effect that could have when you could do something that good for other, good for the community. Improve the public skill and presentation skill is I mean good. Cross-functional skill, as I mentioned, is very important. If you cannot present well, even technical background very good, right? It will have less effect and have less impact. Cultivate human network. I cannot stress importance of the networking because we cannot work alone, and today is about globalization, right? So if we can partner with others, right, we can leverage the strength, right? So it means that we can excel further. And then very important that you should seek a mentor. If it's good, you are lucky if you can find a good mentor, right? Because if we can get advice, right, we can always go better. If we have someone who has been there before, right, who advise us, then it may take us less time. We may not need to trial and error, okay, to go this part and that part if we have good mentor. Okay, and publish your thought. When I say publish your thought, I say that if you have some good idea or something, it's good that you documented it out. You should write it out, right? Because our memory, always we say that we have endless memory, but it's always limited. And we have something going on in our brain all the time, right? So you may forget some good thing that you can think of, right? And then also like in the Facebook and in LinkedIn, you can summarize things that you do each day and so on as well. And lastly, like stay healthy. I mean, health is very important. If we not have a good health, we are unable to succeed anything. And then start early. Start early is not wake up early. Wake up early is always good, of course, right? But start early is mean if you want to decide to do something, you don't hesitate and think that I may not be able to do that, and we take next year just do it, right? If you have an ability, you want to do something, just start it right away. Okay, it's never too late. Okay, and then after all, the goal setting is very important. We need to set the goal: short-term goal, medium-term goal, and long-term goal, right? If you have a goal, then you have the certain direction and move toward that. So as I mentioned, lastly, life balance and good health, right? So you cannot work too hard. I learned the lesson myself. I always work hard. I'm the workaholic. Okay, and of course, now I tend to value the importance of the healthy diet, good exercise, and taking a break, right? Because if our body, we have our body and mind, if both are healthy, that we have ability to do all. We cannot have a strong mind, but we have the bad health, right? It is one take you anywhere, right? So I mean that is the end of my talk, right? So thank you for your kind attention, and I hope that you gain some insight and gain something useful from my talk, right? Okay, thank you very much. And you could reach me from my email or my Facebook, my webpage. Okay, so I'm back to Katen. I should stop sharing my screen.
I have stopped it. Thank you for being here. It was a very inspirational talk for me. I think for our audience as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being volunteer in IEEE and in academic life. I have one question for you. You have step out your comfort zone in several times, and don't you ever feel fear to go there or to step out your comfort zone? Or did you have any help with your family, friends, or I don't know?
Yeah, I think that there are some point in time that yeah, I feel that I need to change. I need to step out, right? And of course, the fear would come in. The fear would come in. Yeah, but I think I have to set my mind that okay, I have to go there. I have to force myself to change. And many times, of course, a family and friend give a lot of support. Yeah, and sometimes like I also take some personal development course. So certain personal development course would take you out of comfort zone. Or I even used to go to some camp that you go, like you do it's not like military training, but it's something that like improve your physical strength. Like if you have to jump from the tree or something, like you do something that you you haven't done before, that would also something like break your mind completely. And you have like the support for the like the your fellow that come into that camp or something, that that is something that used to do. I just go to certain personal development course that helped me a lot. But that you have to force yourself to go, and you don't know what you're going to experience over there. And maybe you go there, you will see some people new that is not your friend or your circle. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
that's it.
We are ending right now. I will take your final advices and final words to our audience.
Yeah, so I believe that we all have to believe in ourselves, right? In our ability. Yeah. So because sometimes we fear that we cannot do something, we cannot achieve certain things, right? But of course, ourselves has much more ability than we thought. And we have to try to take out our hidden capability, right? Because we all have all the full potential that we have. Yeah, it's just a matter, you can pull that out ourselves, or sometimes you need others help. And that's what I say, that the mentor is very important. Sometimes you cannot do that yourself, then the mentor would be the one who help you to find your hidden skill, and uh, like encourage you to reach your full potential. Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Today we have watched magnificent woman, magnificent volunteer, Supavadee Aramvith. This is the end of our session. We have several sessions today and tomorrow, and we have closing ceremony tomorrow. Please watch them and bye.
Okay. Bye bye. Yeah.
Bye.
Take care. Yeah. Bye bye. Just leave.